Hey everyone, and welcome to 121 Movie News. This is just a quick update talking about the fact that the Tomb Raider sequel actually is going ahead. We'd heard that there was a reasonable chance of this happening a while ago, but we have news of a director and a release date now. And the director is actually kind of an interesting pick. It's coming out March 19th, 2021, is the release date that MGM have set for it. The first film was not like a huge hit. It made like 275 million worldwide, which for a blockbuster is pretty tame. It was kind of on that borderline of like, it might not even get a sequel. But here it is. They want to try and build it into a franchise. And the ending of the first movie did kind of set up a sequel and set up kind of where it could go. Ben Wheatley has been announced as the director for the new film, which is an interesting pick for a couple of reasons. One, because I don't think he has ever done a studio blockbuster. He's never done anything like that. I've seen a couple of his films. I saw Kill List, which was kind of a hitman movie that turned into a horror film by the end, had kind of some cultish elements to it. And then I saw Free Fire, which was maybe the most sort of mainstream action movie that he's done, which was Brie Larson and what's your face, Armie Hammer, and all those sort of people. And it's all set in like the one warehouse, and it's like one big shootout that takes place over like 90 minutes, and I enjoyed that movie. It wasn't as great as I thought, as I was hoping it would be. I thought Kill List was really well directed, but the story kind of wavered for me a little bit towards the end. But I thought the direction was really good. Especially so. He also did a High Rise with Tom Hiddleston, which I never actually finished. I started watching that movie and kind of fell away from it. So Ben Wheatley's a weird director for me because he clearly has talent, and there's definitely scenes where I watch his work and I'm like, oh, this guy has skill. This guy knows how to move a camera around. This guy knows how to direct the actors. But as of yet, I've yet to have like a complete win with him. I've yet to have a complete outright success. So I'm hoping this will be the case for this. And also, it's a sequel, so him coming in for a film like this, it feels so different to everything else he's done, because everything else he's done has been standalone, low budget, sort of, I don't like to say they're all passion projects, but they all feel, a bit more personal because they are smaller and because they are not these big studio tentpoles. So him doing Tomb Raider 2, whatever it ends up being called, is kind of interesting. So we'll see what type of movie he comes up with. Hopefully that means that it'll feel less generic like the first film did. Because the first Tomb Raider, is not a terrible film by any means. But bizarrely, it was at its best when it was just setting up the character, and it was the stuff that wasn't really part of what the game was. Once it actually tried to do the plot from the game, it kind of fell into just rushing through the game's plot in a way that didn't even feel true to what the game was. My big problem with the first film was how Lara was never really left on her own to just be Lara Croft, which is, in the game you're mostly on your own, and in the movie that's very rarely the case. There was also a big twist that I hated, and a couple other things. There was one really good one shot where she was sort of sneaking around that felt like sneaking around in the game. So hopefully the sequel can have more of that, and it doesn't just end up feeling like more of a generic adventure movie like the back half of the first movie did, and we can move away from that. So the question is it going to be loosely based on what the second game's story was? I kind of hope not. At least not like at least strictly, because I feel like the plot of the games is the weakest element. The fun stuff is the action and Lara, sneaking around, being in action scenes, jumping around, various locales. Those are the things that are kind of fun. It is Lara being kind of a badass Rambo type character that is really fun in the games. So hopefully the second movie can capture that. And Ben Wheatley is definitely a more visceral filmmaker than I don't remember who directed the first one. Someone that I wasn't familiar with, but he, just from that movie, based on that movie, Ben Wheatley's a more visceral director, and I'm thinking of scenes in Kill List especially. When I say that, so hopefully this means that the second film will be have a bit more personality, a bit more of a unique voice compared to the first one. And who knows, maybe this is one where, after it comes out, we'll be saying, hey, this is kind of like the Road Warrior, and that it's, Mad Max existed, but it's the Road Warrior that really made the franchise and made us think of what Mad Max is. Hopefully we'll come out of Tomb Raider 2 and go, oh, that is the promise fulfilled. That is what a Tomb Raider movie should be. It's finally kind of nailed what that idea is. Of course, the big detail here as well to mention, I'm kind of taking it for granted here, but it is confirmed as well that Alicia Vikander is back as Lara Croft, so she's going to be in there. So we'll see. Roar Utag was the director of the first film. So they're going to start shooting early next year, and it's coming out, like I said, March 19th, 2021. So we'll see how that is and go from there. But hopefully it fulfills the promise of the potential of a Tomb Raider movie a little bit. So, and then the other thing that I wanted to throw in this quick update is that the teaser trailer for the Birds of Prey movie came out, which I'll admit the sense of humor of the trailer does kind of get me. If you check out the trailer, it's basically clearly meant to be attached to the It Chapter 2. I think it's going to be playing with that Chapter 2 pretty. I imagine it's supposed to be playing with every showing of that, because it starts off looking like an It movie with all the balloons, and then you see the silhouette of what might be Pennywise, but is actually Harley Quinn, who hits one of the balloons with her mallet and says, I'm so over clowns. In fact, no, she swears. It kind of censors it. It kind of naturally bleeps it or mutes it. But she said, I'm effing over clowns. And then there's a couple of quick cuts of various characters in the film, and that's basically it. But the funny thing is I think this is a really smart teaser. I think the first half of this teaser is doing exactly what they want it to do as a Harley Quinn movie. As a Birds of Prey fan, as a comic book fan, I hate how much this isn't Birds of Prey. It doesn't feel like Birds of Prey. It doesn't look like Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn's not really a Birds of Prey character, but this movie is a Harley Quinn movie that they're calling Birds of Prey, and they have some altered versions of other characters seemingly from Birds of Prey in there. Huntress and Black Canary and Cassandra Cain. Those characters are going to be in there. None of them really feel or look like their characters. Black Mask as well. Ewan McGregor's Black Mask, the villain. He does not look like Black Mask in this. Now, I'm sure they're going to build up to him getting the mask by the end of the movie, but Black Mask in the comics never has a regular face. Not really. He just always has his Black Mask. At least for most of the stories that I've read. There are some old plots where they're kind of reintroducing the idea. Maybe they'll play with this in the movie, that he does take on disguises and looks like other people. But yeah, but it's weird. It's kind of like a Judge Dredd thing where you never see him without the mask. So we'll see. We'll see. But I think the teaser's funny. The opening of the teaser is exactly the tone they're shooting for, and it very clearly indicates to me once again that this is a Harley Quinn movie with guest stars, as opposed to an actual Birds of Prey movie, which is a shame, because it's kind of it's that thing again where I'd rather have a proper Birds of Prey movie if we're going to have a Birds of Prey movie. It's kind of the same reason why I don't like. I think there's a lot of problems with Man of Steel, and especially Batman v Superman. But even if you agree that okay, they're going for a deconstruction, I don't want a deconstruction on the first time round. I want like a proper Batman Superman movie. With Birds of Prey, I want a proper Birds of Prey movie, and it's not really that. It's a Harley Quinn movie with some guest stars. So, but as that, the teaser seems to work well enough for it. At least the opening half does. The It tease, the Stephen King's It tease, and then Harley interrupting that does give it at least a little bit of a different, a sense of humor. It's very Deadpool, actually. I mean, we've kind of said that DC in the past that are trying to make Harley Quinn their Deadpool, and I think this moment is, to me, confirms that that's what they're doing with this. They want Harley to be that for them. And if it's a hit, and it might be, because even though Suicide Squad was like an absolute garbage movie, Harley Quinn and all the people dressing up as Harley for Halloween and all the sort of the Hot Topic-esque outfits and stuff, all that stuff was kind of a huge hit, and that's in just purely a commercial sense. So I feel like this movie probably will do solid for what it is, and the teaser doesn't alleviate my fears over what this movie is. Now, admittedly, does that mean that it might be a good movie anyway? Like, maybe it won't be a Birds of Prey movie, but maybe it'll be good for what it is, which is maybe my best case scenario at this point. And maybe it will be. But it's worth mentioning that I don't love Deadpool. I get what it's doing, and it's okay, but I wasn't in love with the Deadpool movie or Deadpool 2. Like, they're decent at what they are, but they're not for me, not really. So Harley Quinn, the sense of humor in Deadpool is very... I think obnoxious is the word I'd use. It feels like very, hey, aren't we so funny? Look at how funny we are. Is the feeling I get from those movies, and I feel like this might be going for that as well. But we'll see. That said, I do like Margot Robbie more than I do Ryan Reynolds, so maybe she'll sell me on it a little bit. If she's at least having fun with the role, maybe they'll do something with it. It's very interesting that we're getting a Harley Quinn movie so soon after a Joker movie. even though they're completely unrelated. But it's kind of interesting that we're in this kind of weird place. And again, I know it's not technically Harley Quinn, but I mean, she is in the title technically. Like, you know, the full title's The Birds of Prey and the Emancipation or whatever of Harley Quinn, the Fabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, whatever the full title is. So there you go. That is the quick bit of news that I wanted to talk about and do a quick video on. So let me know in the comments what you think of either of these things, what you think of the Tomb Raider sequel, what you think of the Birds of Prey teaser, and hopefully you're happy about it. But you can, of course, like and subscribe and all the usual things that help us out. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/MailFuzzTV. That's kind of the main way that we are funded and continue operating. You can do that over there, and you get some bonuses, some early stuff, and you can, of course, get us on Twitter at mailed_fuzz for channel updates and all that kind of thing. So thank you very much for watching, if I could speak properly. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember, if you can get it, it's always nice to have diplomatic immunity.